Okay, so here's a previous example, and actually, let me just take this out for a second. All right, where we have an array of integers, and I just used an initialization list to put these values in. And then the show arrays function just passes in the array and just displays all the elements in the array. And then we sort this array, and this function here is just a code for the bubble sort. Now, you don't want to reinvent the wheel. If you want to do a bubble sort, you want to use this code and just make a couple modifications if you want. I showed this example two ways. In one of those ways, I use the swap function. I think that's the most efficient way to do it, and it's definitely the easiest when you're working with parallel arrays. Okay, so then I sort it, and then I display it again after it's been sorted. Okay, so let me just run this. Now, I want you to think about this. You call the sort function, and then you display it. If you display it first and then sort it, you don't know that it's been sorted. So it's important that you sort and then display, and then you check to see that it's been sorted. Okay, so here was my original values, and here are my sorted values. Okay, so to demonstrate this with a parallel arrays, I'm going to create a second parallel array, this time called words, and I just did this to keep track, right? The first one is 7, right? Then the equivalent word 2, the equivalent word 3, etc., etc. So now I've got parallel arrays. So we know if we want to show the array, right, we're going to have to modify this and pass it both arrays for the show arrays. So let me come down to show arrays, and I'm going to put in okay, and then here I'm going to display both the okay, so I'm displaying both the array and the count. Now in this case, the problem I think that I'm having is I've introduced a string, so I need to include the string library. Okay. All right, so this is going to display both, and I want to modify this so that this is going to sort both. Now I've got a little cleanup to do here, right? I'm going to have to come up here just to make my prototype. Actually, you know what? I'm going to come down here. Let me do this. I'm just going to copy and paste so I don't make any mistakes. Oops. And my sort array, right now I'm passing both arrays. Okay. So now when I call sort arrays, I've got to pass both arrays. And now I have to pass both arrays right here. Okay. Now I still have a little bit of work to do inside of my sort function, but right now I'm going to run it. Right? So it's got 7, 2, 3, 8, 9, 1. So I'm doing this sort according to the numbers. And so initially it looks like this, but when I sort it, the numbers are in order. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, but the words got jumbled up. Okay? And the reason that this is when we're doing our sorting, if we sort the number array element, we have to sort the corresponding words array element as well. Because they're parallel arrays. If you swap the one, you've got to swap the other. And now when I run it, right, now it looks good when it comes out. 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so the idea here is you don't have to make a lot of changes to the code in the sort, but you have to be able to tweak it a little based on what you're trying to do. This code was working for just an array of integers, so I added a couple tiny modifications, right, to add a parallel array in there as well. That's all I have to do. Okay, so that is sorting parallel arrays.